Hey all, I didn't have any mistakes this episode of recording GameRaveTV. I didn't know what to put here. Hey all, it's Jason from GameRave.com, otherwise known as Danger Boy. This is GameRaveTV. So we're back to the letters game, and this episode we are dealing with the odd man out. The pound sign, the numbers, and not hashtag little whippersnappers. What makes the numbers category fun to play with is that now, besides normal games, we also have to have the Tomo 3 packs involved. And that means we now have to not only judge individual games and their merits, we have to judge if 3 games in one pack are worthy of the title. So that being said, let's get to it. So we'll deal with our runners-up first, obviously. First to the plate, oddly enough, is One Extreme. Otherwise known as ESPN Extreme Games when it first launched on the PlayStation on launch day, the sports series by Sony just really hasn't aged well. Besides releasing 2 sequels, 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme, the game was essentially just about rollerblading, skateboarding, bicycle guys going downhill. Imagine Road Rash, but like for kids, I guess. At the time, it was a nifty game, something to just play and mess around with, but when it came down to, would you play this 20 years from now? Definitely not. Especially, God, what a turd of a release for 3 Extreme. So those guys are pushed aside. Speaking of sports games, 3D Baseball and FIFA, although respectable in their own rights, in fact 3D Baseball I actually fairly enjoyed for not caring about baseball sports. There's newer sports games you can move on. It's not RBI Baseball or Baseball Stars for that matter, so take it to the side. As I mentioned earlier, Tomo's 3 game packs actually have a bizarre problem to them. And that is, while they're actually really cool in that you're getting 3 games in one box set, the games usually have nothing to do with each other. And like, you buy a box set, it'll have chess and then King of Fighters. Now, they both have kings in them, both the female and the chess piece, but what? Like even like when they had multiple puzzle games, like Puzzle Star Sweep Saga and Crossroad Crisis were in 2 separate boxes. Didn't make any sense. And after going through all of them for this challenge, it became clear that there was just not one good, cohesive box set that could even try to get the title. So those got pushed to the side. So essentially that leaves us with 3 James Bond games and 40 Winks. Now, that being said, screw 007 Racing. Game. Seriously. Just go read the review page to find out why. So that leaves us with Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and 40 Winks. Now, 40 Winks is actually a really adorable Mario-type game where you play rough and tumble, little boy and little girl, and you enter their dream world and have to go save the Winks from the Hoodwinks. I wish I was making this up. Good, cute little game. Just some of the camera angles were a problem. In fact, it's almost like half the time you feel like you're fighting the camera and have to spin it back into place. With the James Bond games, you have Tomorrow Never Dies, which was a third-person action game. Fairly good. The biggest catch being I remember playing it through the one time for the review on GameRave that I never got to, and while the game was passable, enjoyable, at the end of the game it became just a chop frame disaster. Like choppiness, the game couldn't keep up with your actions, just bizarre difficulty, and it really got cumbersome. With The World Is Not Enough, though, absolutely really well done game. For a licensed movie game, the developers went out of their way to make sure it wasn't just a standard copy and paste, ship to retail, shooter fest. Now, the reason it is not a typical shooter is because the people that designed the game actually put some thought into it. And what makes it cool is you can actually be a secret flippin' agent. For example, if you go to GameFAQs, God help us all, almost all the guides tell you to do one thing: shoot. Shoot that guy, shoot that guard, shoot that guard. Just stand there, kick his ass, etc. However, by example, in the first stage, the game tells you to use your little pen disruptor to get through the first door without being detected. Cool. However, when you get to the next guard, he is just standing there and tells you can't get past. If you have no patience, you would just stun the guy or hit him and then have all the guards come at you and so forth. However, if you just back up and wait about a minute, minute and a half, he'll actually start walking his rounds, allowing you to walk right through the door nonchalantly. In the next area in the hallway, if you are just careless, you'll get seen by the security cameras and more guards come out. However, you can actually stop, and using your aim button to have him scope, you can use the strafe button to peek around the corners and shoot the cameras so they don't see you, thus saving more confrontation between guards. When you get to the next area, instead of shooting the guard and alerting your presence, you can actually just run between the hallways and duck into rooms and not being seen. Now, this requires more of a duck and covering look, and it is a little bit harder than just shooting people. You actually save ammunition and get to be secret. That's what makes the game fun. It gives you an alternate way to get around things. It wasn't just a simple, cash-in movie license. It's also a very beautifully graphic-looking game. That being said, The World Is Not Enough is our game you have to play for number game. That gives us our first licensed game that you have to play for the PlayStation. Who knew those existed? It's a miracle. That being said, I think we'll get to the ending sequence. Alright guys, that's all we have this time for this episode, so hopefully you enjoyed it. And before we go, just a couple things. One, we reached 20,000 views over the weekend, and that's insane. To quote Lewis Black, I am just Schnooky the Clown on a corner of the internet, and the fact that you guys keep coming back and listening to me rant and rave and all that fun things is absolutely amazing, and I want to thank all of you guys and girls for showing up and listening to me and so forth, and hopefully I'm keeping it entertaining for you guys. Number two, to the boy that recognized me at my work, I didn't get a chance to catch your name, and I just thought it was absolutely awesome and weird that you recognized me from YouTube, and hi. It was nice to meet you. If you guys ever think you recognize me on the on the street or in public, just say hi. I don't bite. It's hysterical. That being said, next episode we're gonna take another break from the letter game and talk about some God knows whatever. But hey, here's to the next 20,000 views. We'll see you guys next episode. Take care.